righty. Let's get to the last question. Do you believe America is truly post-industrial? If so, how can the economy absorb people who would otherwise be working manufacturing jobs? What will the new gigs be? I don't believe that manufacturing is dead. I believe that we need to reinvigorate our manufacturing base. And I think this pandemic, Brett, I think this pandemic highlights the fact that we need a robust manufacturing sector. Because if I don't know about you, but trying to find an actual N95 mask is damn near impossible. Get a ton of K95s or the KN95s, those cheap Chinese knockoffs, but none of the good ones that were made here. And for me, I'm a firm believer, always have been, of domestic production, domestic consumption. We make what we need. We don't need the Chinese firm to come in and make all of our rail cars. We don't need Chinese firms to come in and take our factories back to China and build products and send them here. We can do it ourselves. But we're going to have to, and this is where the blind squirrel, Donald Trump, found a nut. China's a problem. We got to deal with this. We got to deal with their slave labor. We got to deal with their currency manipulation. We got to deal with their mercantilist policies, their massive government, state-owned enterprises. We got tons to deal with. But saying that we're post-industrial, I don't buy it. I do think we're going to be much more mechanical. I think automation is going to be here, and we should not run away from it. I am not a Luddite. I don't say smash the machines. But I do believe that we need to have a government who is going to step forth in a very robust way and provide jobs when the private sector can't, or more likely won't. And then we need to tax these big employers who do automate. We need a massive and a robust tax on the top 1-2%, so that it does trickle down to the rest of us. We can do this. We can have an economy that works for everybody. We can have an economy that creates jobs and profits and all of that, without having desperation and poverty. And let me go over to the professor and get his thoughts.
Yeah, I think that that in the pandemic is something that I think is really focusing our attention on some of these issues. Because one thing I think everybody out there is going to have to come to terms with is the fact that what's happening now, and with all the time that we're spending indoors, we are fundamentally changing how we consume goods and services. I mean, just we're doing things differently now. We're not going the places we used to go. We're not doing the things we used to do. And we're getting our products and services through different means. There's a very good chance right now, my children are 11 and 13 right now. There's probably about a 75% chance the jobs they have when they become adults have not yet been created, have not yet been invented. Probably their job titles don't currently exist today. And that's just the speed and the pace of the economy that we're dealing with. And so, but I think it's also a moment of opportunity, because what we're learning is we can't depend on others to produce the essential things that we need. Because every time we do, we find ourselves coming up short. Yeah. But when we invest in American business, when we invest in American innovation, what we end up with is, well, for example, a vaccine, 6, 8, 9 months sooner than anybody thought was possible. You know what I mean? So I think that we're both showing an opportunity for investment in American business, and certainly a need for investment in American production innovation.
No, and you're right. I mean, there was a study done, and I off the top of my head, I don't remember the group that did it, but they said 5 years ago, in 20 years, half of the jobs that we currently do will be automated. And we need to be preparing for this. And this is where, again, our political class, while we've been divided on who's going to what bathroom, or who's wearing what, or who's marrying who, or whatever. While we're focused on those issues, we're falling so far behind on what I think are really important issues on how are we going to feed our families, how are we going to keep a roof over our head, what are the jobs of the future going to be, and how can we move an education system towards that. We haven't even begun those conversations. That study came out 5 years ago. So we're closing in on that moment where automation's coming. And it's what are the new jobs going to be? Sadly, the new jobs have been things like DoorDash and Instacart and these gig economy jobs that don't come with any benefits, no health security, no retirement security, barely a minimum wage, if that, because, hey, you're an independent contractor. You can work for free if you want. We got lots of things to deal with. And I think Joe Biden understands that. And I hope he's going to begin addressing it. We've got a lot of work to do in the coming weeks, months, and the next couple of years, and we got to get to it. It's that simple for me. You got any closing thoughts, Professor?
Actually, no, I could not have said it any better than that.
Well, there it is. Again, I want to thank everyone who sent questions. Thank you. I appreciate, for the most part, everybody that we've met here on ThinkSpot. We're going to continue this every other week, every other Sunday. We're going to come here, answer some questions. If you want to check out our program during the week, live 9 to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday, you can get there at thericksmithshow.com or just right here on ThinkSpot. Come to our live channel. We put it there every day. The professor puts out some clips every day, also on our front page. If you want to comment on that, we will try and answer as many as we can. But thank you again. Appreciate the questions and look forward to back here 2 weeks from now. Thanks so much.
Good night, everybody.